What's happening guys, it's Abhinav from PhoneBunch and this is our review of the Samsung Galaxy On7 Pro, which is now selling for less than Rs 11,000. So folks, this phone has come down in price. It's at about Rs 11,000 right now, and with that you are getting a 5.5-inch display, Snapdragon 410 64-bit quad-core processor, 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of onboard storage, 13 and 5 megapixel cameras and a large 3000 mAh battery. I'll talk about the rest of the specs as we move along. Let's talk about build. So you have the audio jack and the data syncing and charging port at the bottom. If you move to the left, you have the volume rocker, and on the same place on the right you have the power lock and unlock button. Both are decent, they have decent tactile response. There's nothing at the top and you have a faux metal sort of ring on the side. The back has sort of a leather-like texture. It does feel good to hold in hand, isn't very slippery. Now the black color of this phone really looks excellent. Now this is a dual SIM 4G cable smartphone with a separate microSD card slot, 3000 mAh battery, and yes, it supports VoLTE as well. In the front you get a 5 megapixel camera, you have a proximity sensor, no ambient light sensor, no notification LED, capacitive buttons don't light up. But then again, we all know about budget Samsung smartphones. The display however is quite decent. The color reproduction is slightly towards the colder side but decent viewing angles. You have an outdoor mode which does make it slightly more legible when you're outside. But it does get smudged with fingerprints and it is a bit hard to clean. If you get a tempered glass screen protector, that would really help. And moving to the back, you get a 13 megapixel camera with LED flash. Call quality was good on the device. I didn't face any issues there, as it is generally with most Samsung smartphones. Even Jio 4G did work out well. Now talking about the rear camera, it does take time to focus in. There is no HDR mode, but there is however a Pro mode available which does work out decently well. It's not that robust as we have seen with other smartphones. But as you see here, the images did turn out quite alright, but you have to give it time to focus in. Yes, the colors do turn out a bit oversaturated, especially the reds and the greens. But for the untrained eye, these actually look quite vibrant. However, there is not enough detail, and yes, the images are a bit soft as are 1080p videos. Overall, the rear camera is quite decent. It is comparable to the Redmi Note 3. Now let's move on to audio quality. Now this is the headset that you get within the box. We have seen this a million times by now. These do sound quite alright, they are quite loud. The speakerphone however is really not that much. It is slightly tinny, it's not the loudest and gets muffled very easily. Now audio through the headset jack is actually quite clear. It's far better than what you get over the speakerphone, and well, FM radio is also supported. Now talking about software, we have Android Marshmallow running on the device. There is some customization in terms of themes. You can add widgets, change wallpapers, and there is no bloat on the device. This is the new Marshmallow build that we see here. And more importantly, you get the August security patch on the device, and Samsung has been updating this smartphone regularly, at least in terms of security. Now this is a 16 gig variant, out of which you will get about 10 odd gigs when you get the device, and well, USB OTG is also supported over here. Moreover, memory management was quite decent. Generally we had about 1 gig of RAM free when some apps were running in the background. Performance is good on the device. We have Snapdragon 410 running here, which is quite a decent mid-range processor, especially given the 720p display on the phone. Now when you have a lot of apps open in the background, you can see that yes, some of the apps do reload. However, web browsing did work out quite fine, as did gaming. We played some of the games in high performance settings. Although there was a bit of frame drop and sometimes a bit of lag, but still the gameplay performance is quite good on this device. Now before we end this review, let's talk about battery life. With a 3000 mAh battery, a 720p display and Android Marshmallow on top, yes, I was easily able to get more than one full day of use with this phone, which involved calling, listening to music, watching videos, everything. And even at the end, I had about 30% battery left. So yes, good battery life on this device. Now in conclusion, this phone has a decent build quality. Yes, the design is quite dated, but it has good performance, a decent rear camera, good battery life, and in terms of general use you really won't be disappointed. It does lack some of the key features like a fingerprint sensor, which are becoming common in this price segment, and well, some sensors as well. If you want a better performing smartphone, you always have the Redmi Note 3 to go for. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions, let us in the comment section. And as always, have a great day.